You're listening to Sushi for Breakfast with Zach Anderson. Here to help bands tell their stories.
We're here, and we're talking, but these guys are here and they're not talking. So I'm gonna pass it along to some of them. What are we doing here, man?
We're just fucking hanging out.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah. It's,
cool. Can I introduce these guys? Because they mean a lot to me.
Of course, but let me first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do the thing.
Do the thing.
Because it's fucking sushi for breakfast.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking sushi for breakfast. Hell yeah.
May continue.
Yeah. So I'm Ian Riley, Ian Joshua Riley on the internet.
There you go.
And I may or may not have a tweet as famous as Dom Maduri's, but one day I will. Yeah, pish posh. Yeah, pish posh. Dom from Toasted Jam has a viral tweet, and it's an insight. I'll never match up to his grandeur.
What was the tweet?
It was a tweet that was about old people. It was saying, why do old people always use ... at the end of every sentence? And it got like half a million retweets and got retweeted by all these meme pages. So every time we're recording a band or something now, and it comes up that Dom's like not funny, he's like, listen, I am funny and I can prove it mathematically.
That's fucking amazing.
So yeah, my name's Ian Joshua Riley. I do some records at a studio called Toast and Jam Studio with the owners Dom Maduri and Matt Wood. And right now I'm here with the Fairview from Boston, Massachusetts, who are my really good friends, and we're making their first full length. No, it's not the first full length. It is the first. Oh yeah, no, it's the first full length. It's there have been 3 EPs, right? 3 EPs total.
3 EPs.
Right.
A number of EPs.
So here, I'll pass this. So everyone introduce yourselves. So
my name is Nolan. I play the guitar, the rhythm guitar, and sing in the Fairview.
I'm Jake Peralt. I do lead guitars and sing in the Fairview.
Hello. I'm Isaac Hiller, and I play drums. That's me.
Because they're too cool for low end.
Oh, there's no bass.
Yeah, we don't believe in bass.
You don't believe in bass guitar.
It's weird.
That's fucking awesome, though, right?
Yeah.
You just put it in, you patch it in, and then you never bring it to a live.
Rhythm guitar, and that's
there you go.
It's fine.
You click the
Hit
rhythm.
the root, dude, and you're good.
Yeah, the root note.
Root.
We use a 7-Up, and we just tune it the fuck down.
It's all about that low E. Don't even get a baritone guitar. You don't need those. You don't need a bass 6. Just play that low E.
We'll never take anything seriously, ever.
Fucking same.
Yeah, dude.
Everybody's
so
the
we're
same.
excited because literally we're here because we were all at the Microwave Can't Swim show together, and we just it was sick. They got in from Boston this morning at they got into Atlanta at 9 a.m. I picked them up at 10 a.m. because holiday traffic fucking rules. And then at Hartsfield Jackson International Airport, and we cut drums for their stuff. Well, most of the drums we got 2 more songs to knock out. We were saying, yeah. And so I'm excited because I just happened to be Microwave Boys are going to be in town. Do you guys want to go to a Microwave show? And they were like, sure. And here we are.
It was a great fucking show.
Dude, it was such a sick show, honestly.
Yeah. I only got to catch Hot Mulligan, their end of their set, maybe the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Microwave and Can't Swim, and Hot Mulligan sounded so fucking good.
Yeah, dude.
And
dude, have you watched their Toast and Jam sessions?
I was just about to bring that up, dude. It was so fucking good. Whenever I realized that they were gonna be here, I went to YouTube because I'm too poor right now to have Spotify Premium on my phone, so I do a lot of YouTube listening. And it was the first thing that popped up was their Toast and Jam session.
That's so sick.
And I got so fucking excited. I couldn't even handle how fucking excited I got. But yeah, the show was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, dude. It's so.
You missed
I wish I could have seen
a lot.
Can't Swim's new music.
Do what?
I wish I could have seen Can't Swim's new music live. Yeah. That's what, their new records actually, yeah, I know. Bowman's it looked pretty good. He wasn't a fan of he was not too fan of the, as soon as we, yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, no.
The set was great.
The set was great.
I was just laughing at you saying that you didn't see their new music.
No, oh yeah, it looked.
It looked great.
The music appeared fantastic.
They used a touch of Photoshop.
Extremely visually pleasing.
Yeah. It was good.
I'm not good with words. I
Their
pretend to be
new,
good with
them
words.
playing their new songs was really fucking exciting.
Yeah.
Because that record is so fucking good.
Yeah, honestly, the thing with them that's interesting to me is I feel like they're representing, kind of like Microwave too, they're representing a vein of rock that like actually just very like authentic rock music that I think a lot of kids who listen to the bands in that subculture aren't aware of. You know, like like I think they embody a lot of interesting like things that like bands like Foo Fighters embody.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of those kids probably haven't heard, you know, that kind of music before. They probably like, you know, they probably just got into like pop punk and Warped Tour stuff, and then
they were at a fucking Seaway and Trophy Eye show,
right?
If that tells you anything.
Weird. Dude, the thing about Microwave is that like, one, they're delivering that true authentic rock sound, and two, like even if you just look at them on stage, they just look like rockers. You know, they're not some like pristine industry picked like out of a hat like skinny jean wearing like emo
Even
hair
though
out of
they were
2007 like
wearing skinny jeans and all that emo hair.
all right, skinny jeans are one thing, but at least they just look like, you know, like people in a rock band that they weren't so like they didn't look like Forever the Sickest Kids or whatever. You know,
they
like,
do just look like dudes.
Hey, look, I love Forever the Sickest Kids. I love Forever the Sickest Kids.
It's like your first.
I'm just saying, it's their brand. It's cool.
Hold on. Is this like your first like media thing to do with your band?
Yes.
And you're just like shitting on all these other bands.
What this is? We've only ever typed out every kind of interview type whatever we've done. So it's always been like, all right, we have.
Not gonna be your mic.
All right, that's fine. No, wait, I need you to hold it here for me, please. We always get like a million chances to go over everything that we say and then like, you know, rewrite and be like, oh yeah, this really represents us. Yeah. But now we're just like talking and oh no, we're idiots.
Hey, all the love.
It's a fine.
Sickest Kids. Hey, Britney is the sickest song of the mid 2000s.
So there you go.
Dude, it really was exciting though for me because I'm so passionate like about Atlanta and Atlanta's music. That's why I started a podcast about it. Like like and to me, like these dudes are from Boston, and I just wanted them to see what a show. Like they've been to they've played like at the local DIY spot. Like I run out of my church's rec room. Okay, you know they like so they've played here, and they know that Atlanta's scene is sick. But I wanted them to see like a bona fide like masquerade show with one of Atlanta's best bands. So I was like, dude, Microwave's playing in Atlanta. I was like, I know we got to work on your record that you paid and flew down here to do, but do you guys like want to go to this show? And they were like, fuck yeah, let's go to this show. And they saw it, and dude, like Nolan like came up to me. He's like, dude, like, right before you guys got here, he was like, dude, we're moving to Atlanta. He's like, I'm just like,
fucking do it, guys.
People give a shit about music here, and it's so refreshing. Like we come from a scene up north that's, I think, just the north is more populated, so obviously there's going to be more bands. It gets oversaturated. Promoters stop giving a damn about like building up local bands to become national touring acts. With the exception of the one homie that we kind of work with exclusively. But
I mean, like, I'll also say too that there's also like this community of people who are like willing to come out to shows, which I think is really, special. And like, I don't know if they know how special it is, but like when we came to Uprising the first time, it was like,
okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Uprising, the church that Ian runs.
It's a very small venue, but
oh, okay.
But there's just a bunch of people who just came just because there was a show happening, which I just like, I feel like that's rare amongst, just people in general. A lot of people just don't really go to shit, you know?
If I can completely like testify to that, because when I wanted like this idea to do this podcast with like bands, and I kind of wanted to focus like on Atlanta bands at first, and it's obviously turned into a lot more than that. I was booking bands like World's Greatest Dad to come hour south in my fucking living room. And I met Chris Bowman, and he told me to do it here. And it's just like so many people want to like be
help
together,
each other be creative,
and to like be better, and to do and to follow really cool and fun ideas. And that is just so fucking powerful. But to like going back to talk about Microwave, I saw them in like 2016, right before I moved to Oklahoma. And at some point at the end of 2017, they were on tour with Tiny Moving Parts.
I remember that.
And I caught them in Houston.
And
it was like the same fucking feel from them. Like, I mean, the crowd, like, they didn't really know really who they were, I guess. Maybe I was just not paying attention.
But they still went hard.
Dude, yes. They like bring the love every time they play on stage, and it's amazing.
One of the craziest things in the world to me is like, there used to be a venue. I mean, I think you guys probably know about it, but there used to be a venue here called Wonder Root. There was like the basement of a community arts center.
Love the Wonder Room.
I miss that place so much. Dude, I used to be in a band called Inveritus that was like just like indie rock band. We were like Thrice wannabes. Like that was like what we sounded like. And we had 3 guitar players. It was ridiculous. Like, but we played a show with our friend's band Tier Asleen, who their drummer is Microwave's photographer. His name's Cameron Fleisch. Shout out Cameron Fleisch Photography. I love you, boy. Even though you fucking took an embarrassing Instagram story of me today at the show, and I'll never fucking forgive you for it. But this man takes a video of me from the balcony on my cell phone, like on my smartphone, while Microwave's playing. He's like, "Hey, Ian, you enjoying the show?" And I'm like, "Fuck you, dude!" Like, you're making me look back in front of our friends.
That's amazing.
It's fine. No, I love it, Cameron. That was a good. It was a good meme. I put it on my story. I know.
Yeah.
But all that to say though, it was a show that was Cameron's band Tier Asleen headlining this awesome band from upstate New York called Take One Car that we became friends with. They're like Take One Car? Yeah, dude, they're so good.
In my college when I was at college for a brief hot
That's
minute.
so fucking sick.
Then you quit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But like, get this. This show was Take One Car, Tier Asleen, my old band Inveritus opening, a band that was friends of ours, a guy named Timmy Sterrett called Word Travels Fast. He's in a new band called King of Summer.
Band.
Yeah,
they were so fucking
and
good.
He's in King of Summer with Wes, who used to be in Microwave. But Microwave was the opener.
Yeah.
They were like the first band on the show. It was like they were first of 5 at Wonder Root, playing to maybe like 20 people. And then, this year I got to see them open for Jimmy World in Nashville.
That's fucking lit, man.
Like, it was insane. But that's what I'm saying. It's that kind of art and this kind of community that like it encourages each other and like actually sharpens each other. Like I like what Nolan was talking about, that like his scene is like maybe a little bit lacking in, is like I feel like people here care about helping people get to the next level.
Yeah.
And that's why we're all trying to help build each other's like client base and each other's like network.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one thing, Bowman and I have become friends because Andrew Simmons from Harm, our friend who's like, we love him very much. Bowman's throwing up hearts.
Yeah. We're gonna have
Andrew's
him on the podcast
exactly.
in January.
Andrew's a friend, and Corey Bautista, shout out Corey Bautista Audio, he's a friend. I've seen on the internet, just in this audio community, I'm just despite the fact that I'm a producer, I'm not the traditional like audio guy on social media. I'm never the dude, like I've just never been the cool enough dude to be the audio guy who's that proficient. But I produce music because I just love collaborating with bands, and I love songwriting, and I love recording, and I love being in it. So I feel like everyone, like Bowman, Batista, like Andrew Simmons, I feel like all of them are like way more qualified than me to do my job.
Yeah.
But what's cool is I've always seen in those communities, people are like super out to get each other's work and to get competition. And what I've learned with our community, we're very fortunate. We all get each other work. Like, it's like someone produces something, and then we hook someone else up with a mix, and then we hook someone else up with a mastering job. And it's like, yo, like, let's like actually like make the record sound better, get our egos out of the way, maybe make a little less money, but make a damn good record that like a band actually wants to come back and record with us with,
Yeah.
And that's like,
Between treating it as a community as opposed to competition.
right.
It's a lot better.
I kind of feel like though, like Atlanta's been that way for a long time.
Yeah.
I used to play for a band, I guess you could say. I used to play bass in a band called No Sleep. That's now Bliss.
Oh,
And
you used to play in Bliss?
well, no, I used to play in No Sleep before.
And then Nate was it. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah.
They changed their name, I guess.
Yeah.
But like we used to play at the Wonder Root all the time.
Right,
And I
right.
remember every time we played there, it was a fucking shit show. Like this one time, I used to have this 1959 Bassman Fender head for my bass guitar, and
Yeah.
it exploded on the inside, and like it just was a fucking disaster. And I had to borrow another band from New York whose name I can't remember right now. And Mike, we started playing, and it was like fucking cold in the Wonder Root, and like my bass just like fully went out of tune like as soon as we started playing, and the whole fucking set sounded like absolute dog shit. And Kyle Svick, you know him?
Kyle Svick. What band is he in?
I don't know if he's in a band, but I know that he like DJs and books at the 529 now. But he used to book
That might
all
be
the
where I
time
know from. If
at
he
the
books at
Wonder Root.
529, yeah.
He would always invite me back. Like, even though every time I was there was a shit show. Like, I remember I played in this one band, like my like fucking like head of my guitar was just like all like tightly strung because it was the winter time.
Right.
And like one of my guitar strings broke, and I didn't have any guitar strings, and like it was just like a fucking mess every time I'd play there.
Yeah.
But everybody was always like really wanting me to come back, even though it's probably not me personally, but like,
Right.
they just want to hang out and like play great music. And I feel like it's been that way for a really long time in Atlanta.
I agree.
Like, from my own personal experiences. And the only thing that I'm sad about in our community is that Kelsey Grammer's not a band.
Oh, dude, I know. So I'm in a band called 10th Row, and my you actually emailed us. You emailed us about being on the podcast.
You want to be on the podcast?
Yes, no, we do. I don't know if anyone got back to you because we suck at our email, but like we suck at being a professional band.
10th Row confirmed.
Yeah, 10th Row confirmed. Our guitar player Zach Washburn is like he's a amazing filmmaker. Yeah.
He plays guitar for you guys?
Yeah, Zach is our guitarist. I know people know Zach because he's a filmmaker and because he's done like Issues and Microwave and Author, but like people don't know he's the guitarist of our band, even though his brother is the drummer of our band. Like, and dude, yeah, the Washburns are like, yeah. So shout out Zach Washburn Films.
Now people know.
Yeah, so Zach is a really good. He just did the new music video for. It's not out yet, but it's for the song "Keeping Up" by Microwave. He's done work for like Issues and To Speak of Wolves and like a band called Author from Minnesota that I really love, like one of my favorite bands. And Zach's just an amazing filmmaker, and I was going somewhere with that. I was
you seemed like it.
Yeah, no, it's there was a point that I had. I don't even remember what it. I'm just watching both of them.
We were kind of talking about like community and lack of competition more.
Yes, that is true. I'm trying to remember. I brought up Zach for like a super specific reason, like, and I don't remember what it was.
He plays guitar. He plays guitar in your band.
He plays guitar in my band. Community. Great show.
Great fucking
script.
awesome show.
I love Community, man. Rip.
Donald Glover. Shout out.
Wait, Donald Glover.
Shout out to Donald Glover.
Honestly, okay, hang on though. One thing, okay, if before I forget, or before I remember what I forgot about Zach Washburn, you mentioned Donald Glover. That's an example of a person though that like why I started the podcast that I did. That man made a show about our city.
Yeah,
like that meant like and it's about a lot more than our city, but I mean it's called Atlanta, and it's about like hardship, and it's about like growing up becoming like an artist and stuff like that, and that's insane to me. Like, you know, like he's like that dude is representing, even just with his Stone Mountain EP. Yeah, like people didn't know. Like when I don't remember who it was, but some band from out of state that I was working with saw like the Stone Mountain. I was like, oh yeah, we're passing by Stone Mountain. They were like, is that like Stone Mountain, like Kawhi Stone Mountain, like Childish Gambino? And I was like, yeah, like that's the one.
Dude, I've shamefully hung out at JR Cricket's hoping that he would come in.
That he would show up. Oh, yeah. Dude, I had no shame whatsoever. That dude's a Renaissance man in every sense of the word, and that's like.
Dude, I remember back in the day when I was in high school, and he was on fucking Derek Comedy.
Yeah, dude.
And I remember watching that in my friend's like fucking like basement, like smoking weed and like stealing his like dad's liquor, and like, dude, this guy, he's fucking hilarious, and like it was just great. It's not funny now, like if you go back and watch it. It's like it's college humor, right? Quite literally, yeah. It's, you know, it's funny, I guess, but at the time it was fucking hilarious. Yeah. And even then, like you could tell, like he's really powerful, like, in what he did.
Dude, like I could talk forever about him, so I'm going to stop just because I remembered why I brought up Zach. Zach shot a music video for Kelsey Grammer. That was incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it released or not. I don't remember. But that band was so good, and like that. I feel like they're an example of why, another reason I love like the scene that we've come up in here, and why I think these guys like it now too, just because is like they were talking, we were having a conversation in the car about how a lot of bands, Jake, I think it was you who was saying that like a lot of bands like in your area, there's a lot of bands that like, not you guys, because you guys are like, in my opinion, like cream of the crop, like you guys sound like you guys, but there's a lot of bands just kind of like that are doing the exact same thing and don't really care. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I would say they don't care. I just think there's just a lot of people trying to do the same kind of thing in the same kinds of spaces. Right. And like sometimes I think you get the sense where it feels like people are kind of trying to create something that people like and not something that they really like believe in or care. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I totally feel that.
And like I think sometimes like you can really feel that like gap in like between like what someone's like trying to put out and between like how like if it's just not reaching people because like it's not really something that came from like within from them either.
Yeah.
You know,
so tie that into the record that you guys are working on right
now. So we are working on our first full length, and so far it's been great. We've been doing drums and bass for the last couple days. Or for just today, I guess. It feels like it's been days. I'm tired.
You just flew in today.
I know. I flew in this morning. I'm exhausted. But I mean, the album's great. I mean, a big theme of all of it is in all of our music, it's really important to us. It's just about mental health and living with it, and living with the ugly parts of it as well as like the beneficial, comfortable parts of it too, and just how you can how you relate with people and how you relate with yourself. And it's kind of a big album about just kind of accepting your own flaws for where they are, and just kind of being patient with yourself. It's really important to all of us, and we're really excited to record it.
No, I think that's so fucking awesome, because I feel like just in the last year or two, it's become very relevant for bands to talk about that kind of shit, as to where before in the past it was bands would just fall off and you wouldn't really know why. And I feel like the first thing that kind of hit me with that was Modern Baseball. They took a time off, but they did that huge Facebook post about how important mental health is.
They were just so honest about it. They were just they didn't try to make it like a PR move. They were just kind of this is what's up. We can't deal right now.
Yeah.
And we just have to do what's best for us. And I think, that sends a really powerful message to fans and artists alike, that it's just we can do the whole playing the shows, doing the tours, and putting out albums and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's your mental health has to come before everything else. It just has to.
There's an exchange, right, between a listener and somebody who makes music, that they're not really, I guess, aware that you're still a person.
Yeah.
And that's fucking weird, and I like that it's kind of being cut in half, at least in some way, to where you can talk about this kind of shit, and obviously bands like yourself can make records and write songs about mental health issues. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, if I had a dime for every time that I run into someone from high school, or I've run into an old family friend, or this, that, and the other thing, I'd have way too many fucking dimes, because it happens all the time and I hate it. But every time it happens, I hate it for this reason, and everyone's always just wow, I see all your tour pictures on Instagram, and I follow your band on Spotify. You're totally living the dream. That's great. I'm so glad you're having all the success. And it's well, if you knew anything about it, you'd know that we're an unsigned band. You know that we're a DIY touring band. The amount of physical and mental strain that can come along with something like that. You only really post your successes. So when you have a lot of people at a DIY show, you post a cool ass picture of it and act like your entire tour is going great, but they don't see your alternator going on the van. They don't see that you coming out of pocket for that because you got skimped on pay the night before.
Yeah.
They don't see you working, 2 customer service jobs behind the thing of it. And then it's just definitely I don't think people know how much of yourself that you have to pick apart and feed into the machine of being a band on the road, in the scene, doing the thing. It's mental health really.
And then people just expect you to smile after you get off stage, and
and it's
fucking talk to you.
And I mean I've even had people be Nolan, why are you so negative all the time? Why does your band always put out music that talks about negative stuff? And I'm just well, because man, a lot of negative shit happens when you do what we do. And if we don't address it while we're doing what we're doing with the music that we create and tour, then we're never going to address it, and it's going to build up, and we're going to lose ourselves.
So in a way, it's kind of like therapy.
We might as well make them mutually
symbiotic in a way.
Yeah. I can't afford an insurance copay for a therapist, so you're gonna hear about it in our music.
You can always hit up. What's that fucking company that does mental health stuff for bands? Punk Talks.
Punk Talks. Punk Talks. Yeah, you're correct.
They kind of had a scandal though recently.
They did.
Oh, no. With that whole Pine Grove thing.
Something with sorority noise too.
The sorority noise too thing.
I heard accounts of the fact that they were releasing diagnostics about band members and their accounts of mental illnesses band members have, when none of them have doctorate degrees. They're just people who
they just want to
conduct interviews, and
they're counselors,
raise
basically.
Awareness or something like that. And that's kind of fucked up.
I thought it was also fucked that the I guess especially in talking about specifically Pine Grove, the gal that I guess went to them, it was kind of more I need you to talk to this band kind of thing, and like that person over there at their orifice, like just completely used it to like destroy somebody. You know, like, did you read like all these articles? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I just heard someone's account of it.
It was the same way. It was kind of the same thing with sorority noise, from what I understand, is that like,
they were personally like, they knew personal details about a lot of things.
Well, like there was like also like emails of like saying like we're gonna like take down like the biggest indie bands and like just like fucked up shit. Yeah,
I had no idea.
That's weird.
Yeah,
man, like
That's sad.
there's a great article in Spin if you guys.
No, I'll
like,
check it
want
out.
to read it?
I want to educate myself on this because I knew about Punk Talks, but I wasn't aware about any of it.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
like,
like we shouldn't hold people accountable for fucked up shit they did they do, but like what I don't think the witch hunt mentality is really.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like
beneficial.
this. I mean, it's like a very small voice, like of people wanting to witch hunt, and I think that's what made the situation so fucked up. Is that like specifically. Like with Pine Grove, like somebody came forward like to Punk Talks and said like, hey, you need to talk to this person or whatever, because like, you know, I felt uncomfortable, and then they used that as a stepping stone, like to like directly fuck somebody over, and like they said that they were doing that in emails, like that they were using this information.
Like, what do you want to be, some hero nonprofit organization that like polices music?
Right, yeah.
It's
or
like
even thought in a way.
Or like indie like subcultures.
like it should be up to the culture itself to police itself. People need to be better.
Right, I agree.
100%.
Yeah. Dude,
We just need to be better.
Mic drop from Nolan McGovern, dude. dude. Seriously though, like I need to say like on their behalf, like what I brought up with Kelsey Grammer, how I was like they're an example of like what I consider to be like a band doing something original, something really special in their day and age. Like especially like it's neat that we're in a community here in Atlanta that like we're able to like. We're literally able to start all sorts of different kinds of sounding bands and yet have a ton of overlap with our fan base.
Yep.
And like have like people who we have support and we support each other. And one thing that's cool about the Fairview is that like people in our scene like legitimately love them. There was a kid who was like a show goer who goes to all the church shows that we have at Uprising who recognized Nolan like in the crowd tonight, and he was like, dude, you're from the Fairview. Like, and like this, you know, Nolan's like however many thousand miles away from home, and this kid at a microwave show in Atlanta recognizes him. And that's like it's cool to me. The reason I bring that up though, the reason I brought up like, you know, what I was talking about with their, like how there's a lot of people kind of doing the same thing in the same space. The Fairview's music is interesting to me, and the reason I wanted to work on this record was because it like what the hallmark of it is Jake and Nolan. I mean, I don't want to leave Isaac out. Isaac's one like legitimately. I posted it. I posted an Instagram story today that I said like I was like, dude, Isaac is one of the best drummers like in Boston. Like he's like the kid is a machine. But what I would say is the hallmark of their music is Jake and Nolan are such good guitarists, good vocalists. They both like are the vocalists of their band, and they just harmonize well with each other, and they write these interweaving guitar melodies that are just so unorthodox. And yet for interweaving guitar melodies, they're not doing this PBR Bandcamp mathy emo rock kind of thing that's big in like the Midwest right now. They have a very unique
called out.
No, I mean I'm not
in trouble for talking about fucking kids, and you just called out the whole like next movement of emo.
To be fair, I love a lot of those bands. Shout out Unamused Dave, y'all are fucking sick.
Dude,
I think
so
your band
fucking good.
Yeah, I think that band is so
Oliver
good.
Houston?
Oliver, yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. But when I say like the thing is like
I'm in Mass with Nick.
that's awesome. See, I'm not shit talking. I'm just saying there is like that is a subculture that exists, right? Within a subculture. And it's really neat because there's a lot of camaraderie and people know those bands and stuff. And no, I mean, but the reality is like it's so easy for I think people who are just getting into like DIY or punk subcultures to like look at the Fairview's music and kind of lump it in with that. Yeah. It's not that. The Fairview's music has this beautiful like class to it is how I describe it. It has like this polish, and it's like their vocal melodies.
If anybody
like,
could
laughing,
see the faces of the Fairview,
they like really like.
We literally had this conversation about your guys' music like at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I did when I went to get. Y'all remember
fucking class.
Y'all remember when I went to get Chipotle and like I was gone for like an hour. Like I was talking to
Hold on. You guys are making a record.
I was stuck in traffic at the Mall of Georgia because it's Black Friday. Let the record show today is Black Friday.
No, it's not. It's not Black Friday. It's November the 29th, 2018. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Don't say that's not true. But like it, but dude, no, like the reality is, dude, it was so crazy. Like it was the Mall of Georgia. The Mall of Georgia is right by the studio that I work at, and like I was thinking, you know what? While they're eating their pizza, they're having the lunch break. I'm gonna run to get Chipotle, and I'm gonna deposit this money at the bank. I'm just gonna make a quick round. I'll be back in like 20 minutes, dude. I was stuck in traffic for literally an hour just trying to go 1 mile.
It's like so weird because I drove here and there was no traffic, guys.
Dude,
like I'm just saying.
No, this is Buford, Georgia. This is like 45 minutes northeast of here, which we have to go there soon.
You can't take an hour out of studio time to talk us up to your friends, man.
Well, what's even worse is that you guys were eating pizza and he was getting fucking Chipotle.
I know. Dude, I am as basic as it gets. Let's be real here. I'm pumpkin spice everything, and I don't have any shame. But
Jesus.
like, what I was gonna say is like. What I was gonna say was like their music, like I was telling them, I don't feel like they sound like the band I'm about to like name drop, but like I feel like they could occupy the same space for the next generation as like a band like Fall Out Boy. Like this band like really matters to me. Like
if you could see the faces of the band as he says
legit,
this.
I did. I really did. Like, I feel like their music is interesting and the record's interesting because
the lyrics. It's so weird that you say that because you took a fucking hour to get Chipotle.
The lyrics of their music is so it's so witty and visceral, and like it's very, very well thought out. The vocal melodies and the harmonies all intertwine with the guitar. I could never play guitar and sing as technically proficiently as they do, and they pull it off so well. And
this
then
is
like
the sweetest thing.
No, really, like
what the fuck,
dude, like even just down to their names, they have like just like they have a song on this new record called Cigarette Etiquette, and I was like, man, hey, there's like no one doing what you guys are doing right now, and like I believe in you guys. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
So
like,
fucking sweet.
I mean, that's how I feel about the record. I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate that like of all the records I've been able to work on this year, there hasn't been a single damn record I've worked on that was just like money I was taking for a job. Every single thing I've worked on, I'm extremely fortunate and blessed to be working on bands I fucking like believe in. Like I really
give me some sugar.
Dude, I got you. But yeah, so
fucking
I'm
awesome.
excited. Can we can't name drop the record, can we?
No, we cannot.
But you can like name
you
drop
straight
like
up released a song name.
Damn,
you
I'm
fucking,
sorry.
fucking
you can,
asshole.
like name drop like Facebook, like where can people find your shit?
Oh yeah, all major streaming platforms it'll be out on. We'll probably order some physicals to sell on tour.
So you can. We do have an EP out right now called "It Could Be Worse Than It Is." We put it out last year.
Good name.
It could be worse, and it is. Yes, we put it out last year in May. We recorded it with Jay Moss up in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Yeah, shout out to Defeater.
That man wrote one of the best songs ever written, "Cowardice."
He's a legend. But so we recorded that. That's out there. We're on Facebook and we're on Twitter and Instagram. We're TFV Band on everything.
Okay.
So the Fairview is one word. They make it TFV.
Yeah, we just I was hoping no one would ever bring that up, but
Confusing, right?
I mean, do we like what? Maybe hand the microphone to Isaac. Do you want to like shout out some family members? You haven't talked like this whole fucking time.
I know. I'm tired. I'm shy. Shout out to my mom. I love you.
Shout out
to all my friends.
Isaac's mom.
You're the realest.
There's like a
Shout out to the Hammer Collective.
Hammer Collective.
Shout out to Nick Lowney.
Nicholas
You the
Lowney.
man.
Shout out Alchemy and I guess
Shout out
Alchemy and
shout out to Xavier.
Yeah. Alchemy can get a shout out.
yeah, keep it going.
guys.
Shout 'em out.
Guys, we need like 20 more minutes for this podcast. So just keep.
Shout out to
Don Maduri's famous tweet.
Shout out to Don Maduri. Shout out to Stay Here. Shout out to Massachusetts bands Bicycle Inn,
Familiar Spaces.
Rhode Island band Familiar Spaces,
Eleanor and the Pretty Thing.
Eleanor and the Pretty Things, Lucy, the band, Debt, the band, No Recall,
These are all bands you should.
Oh, Crafter! Shout out Crafter.
Crafter.
Yeah.
Listen
Boston hardcore.
listen to Pancake Waitress on SoundCloud.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds awesome.
She's our homie from back home.
Listen to Ugly Ghost.
Oh yeah, Ugly Ghost Jake.
Follow Impression Zine on Instagram.
Follow
Fucking shit,
Lights
dude.
After Dark ATL on Instagram.
We're just having a good time shouting out all our friends. We're like, follow this one. You can follow. Yeah, I think that's all I got, to be honest. Sorry if we're forgetting anyone.
Shout out Taco Bell. Shout out Feed the Beat. Shout out
Feed the Beat.
Shout out to my dogs. You big, you furry. I love you.
Hell yeah. You want to drop their names? Just like
I have 2 labs. I have one named Tycho from the Disney Channel original movie Life is Rough, starring Kyle Massey and Kate Van Baker. And I have one named Layla from the Disney Channel original movie Sky High. I forget who starred in it, but it's also a great film.
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
Hey. They're the loves of my life. I love them so much.
Well, thank you.
Man, this man Nolan literally posted a tweet like 3 days ago, and he was like, "You ever look at your pets and just cry because you love them so much? No, just me. Okay."
Sorry, I'll go, guys. I gotta go. Mom,
dude, thank y'all for having us.
No, thank you all so much for.
So sick. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And
can't
like,
wait for this
we
to
can't
air.
wait for the record to come out. Obviously, it seems like really hype. I can't wait.
2019.
2019. Also the same year that the world's gonna end.
Yes, hopefully, with any luck.
Coincidence? I think not.
Well, awesome. Thank you all so much for listening to Sushi for Breakfast. We are in American Sushi Recording Studios. Fuck yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Sushi for Breakfast. And find the Fairview on Twitter and Instagram at TFVBand. And also a huge shout out to American Sushi Recording for hosting the podcast. A little room with a big sound. American Sushi Recording has everything you need to record, mix, or master your next project. Visit them online at americansushirecording.com and ask for our producer, Chris Bowman. And we'll see you next time on Sushi for Breakfast.